I'm Sean Carruthers for Gadget TV on Butterscotch.com, and today we're taking a look at the Boxee Box from D-Link. Now, you may be familiar with Boxee, which is a piece of software that you can download for Windows, Linux, Mac, and even hardware like the Apple TV, and it's a media streaming software. Allows you to connect a bit of hardware to your television and then stream things either from the web or from other devices around your house. Now what D-Link has done is they've created a hardware version of this so that if you don't want to take another computer and hook it up to your TV and put Boxee on it, you can actually do this, and it's about $199 to about $230 depending on where you get it and whether or not it's on sale. You can see this is a bit of a striking design, not exactly the sort of thing that you'll put on top of your countertop or beside the television and then stack other things on top of. It is very interesting from an industrial design perspective, and it's certainly going to be a conversation piece. I'll give you a quick look at the various features found on the Boxee Box. Now, which side is up and which are the sides are debatable because of the strange angles, but on here what we think of as the top is the power switch. On this one side, just over to the right-hand side, is a secure digital card slot so that if you have a digital camera, you can plug your card straight into it and see your photographs right from the card. It'll also allow you, of course, to bring in files from your computer if you want to bring videos or music over. This is the front panel over here. It actually lights up when you power it on. I'll show you that in a bit. And along the back here is where all of the connectors are to connect it to your television and other parts of your network. So we have the LAN connector here, which allows you to connect directly into your network. You actually can connect using wireless. It does have Wi-Fi built in. It has an HDMI out port here to connect directly to your television for picture and sound. For audio, you also have a couple other outputs if you want to hook up to a home theater. So we have optical here for digital, and if you have an old school one, we have RCA connectors here to connect audio that way. Let's have the power connector here. The power brick connects here. And then we have two USB ports over on the side here, and that'll allow you to connect a lot of different things. This is, in fact, a full operating Linux box, so you can connect things like mouse, keyboards, and external hard drives so that you can actually stream your content directly from those hard drives. Now, because this is going to be connected to your TV, but you're probably going to be across the room on the couch, loafing and eating a bunch of chips, we actually have a remote control here that you can actually connect to it and control the Boxee Box. So we have a tilt panel around the outside, left, right, up, down, so you can control menu systems that way, and then a selector switch in the middle, so when you've got to the place you want, you just press that. Got play and pause control on the top here, so it'll allow you to start and stop your videos where supported. And then we've got a button here that controls the menu system, so it's either back or into a menu system for that, depending on where you happen to be. Now, the other thing about this is a lot of other devices of this sort, when you're doing inputs, like going to a website like YouTube, it actually makes you do input using up and down and left and right to scroll through a keyboard. The Boxee Box actually has a keyboard built into the back of the remote as well. And it has a QWERTY-style keyboard here that allows you to type pretty much the way you would either on your cell phone or on an actual full-size keyboard. And it does have a few Alt buttons here, so the ones in yellow you have to hit Alt to get to at the same time. Not necessarily something that'll get you going with any real speed, but it is there if you want it. Now, the one thing that is of note is if you're in a dark room while you're watching, the black on black aspect of this keyboard does make it a little bit hard to type sometimes. So this is where having an actual keyboard or a mouse beside the chair where you're sitting can actually come in handy, especially when you're doing things like surfing the web, but it does add a bit to the clutter beside your chair. So like I said, to power up, you just plug in the device and then press the button on the top, and then you'll notice the logo shows up on the side in green, and that will turn on like that when the Boxee Box is powering up and when it's on, so that you do know it's on. So once the device is turned on and hooked up to your TV, you see on the TV screen a home screen where you have access to a number of different things, including your files, shows, and movies, which you'll find on the web. And it will also give you access to apps. And the apps are pretty interesting in that it allows third-party developers to create content for the Boxee Box. In general, this is going to be video and audio content from outside on the web, but I guess because this is a Linux box, you could have other things coming through these apps. You get them through the interface. You just do a search for it on the Boxee interface, but you also have the ability to look in repositories. So if you are a bit of a nerd or a developer and want to look at things that are maybe not 100% sanctioned by Boxee and available on their site, you can add things to the Boxee Box that way as well. It's also worth noting that Boxee is definitely a social platform. You do have the ability to link up to your friends and see what they're watching either through Facebook or through Boxee.tv. There's a section on there to search for your friends and to add them there. And then when you go onto the friends icon here on the main home screen, it does show you what your friends have been watching and recommending, and then you can watch those things too. You can also set up a queue to watch things later, so when you see something that you want to see but you don't have time to watch it now, you can just click over to the Watch Later icon, and that'll add it to your queue, and then Watch Later will appear as an icon on the home screen, and everything that you've queued up, either from the web, which you can do using a bookmarklet on your web browser, or on the Boxee Box itself, will appear under the Watch Later. Now, of course, you still can make a Boxee Box yourself. You can go to Boxee.tv and choose to download the software and put it onto the hardware of your choice. Of course, it won't be quite as nice looking as this unless you're a pretty good industrial designer as well. So that's a quick look at the Boxee Box from D-Link. For Gadget TV, I'm Sean Carruthers, and for more sweet stuff, don't forget to visit butterscotch.com.